I'm 3 weeks in to my 45-day creatine strength test. And here's the big question. How long does it really take for creatine starts working? And that is the question I hear all the time. It's the one that I had when I first started. Now, I'm not going to give away the answer just yet, so stick around for that, because I'll tell you all about that. But I promise to tell you all about it in just a moment. First, I want to share what I've noticed. And then I'm going to take my first gummy of the day. And finally, I'll test over 3 strength moves: the tricep extension, shoulder press, and bicep curl. This isn't just another supplement reveal. This is me running a personal experiment. If you're new here, I'm Andy. I'm a certified fitness instructor, a cancer survivor, and the creator of the 5BX60 program. Now, supplements haven't been part of my life. I haven't really touched them since I was a kid when I had the chewy vitamins. So when I decided to start creatine, I didn't take it lightly. I told my doctor first. He told me creatine can support muscle and energy, but you need to monitor blood pressure and cholesterol, stay hydrated, and watch for changes in digestion and kidney function. That's good advice. And let me be clear, before you start any supplement, please check with your doctor. So, how's it going? 3 weeks in. Here is my honest report. My energy feels steady. My recovery after workouts has been strong, and maybe, just maybe, those last reps today were a little bit easier. I don't want wishful thinking though. I want the truth. That's why I'm paying really close attention to the small details: how quickly my muscles bounce back, how much energy I carry into the next workout, and whether I feel sharp the next morning. So far, it works. Steady. And here is how I start the day, with my first gummy. Creatine, it isn't hard to find. You don't need a prescription, and you don't have to buy it from some secret dealer in a hoodie. It's everywhere. It's online, at nutrition stores, even at some grocery outlets. It comes in powder, capsule, drink mixes, but I went with the gummies. Why? They're simple, easy to remember, and each one has about 5,000 milligrams, 5 grams of creatine monohydrate. That is the gold standard, the most researched form. So here we go. I'm going to take my first gummy of the day. It tastes like candy, but it's no sugar rush. It's fuel to feed my muscles so I can put creatine to the test. Now, let's answer that question that I teased at the start. When does creatine really start working? Here is the truth. Creatine doesn't work overnight. Your muscles need to warm up, be saturated before you see benefits. And that usually takes 2 to 4 weeks from daily use. And it's exactly where I am right now in week 3, right in the sweet spot. This is when people usually notice the extra reps, less soreness, quicker recovery. Now, I haven't sprouted any wings yet, no cape in my gym bag, but I am noticing steady energy, a little more control with those tough reps. And that's how creatine shows up, but not as magic momentum. Let's put that to the test with some strength moves. First up, the seated dumbbell tricep extension. Triceps matter. They're behind every push you make. Reaching overhead, even pushing yourself out of a chair. Here's how I do it. Sit tall, feet flat. Take your dumbbell and put it over your head and lower it slowly behind your head. Elbows tucked, press back up with control. What I'm watching for is whether I can keep the form steady during the last reps. Creatine helps me keep form and push through. That's a win if it does. Next, the seated dumbbell shoulder press. Strong shoulders are everything. They keep your posture upright, keep your balance, and they power almost all move you make with your arms. Here's the form. Sit up, upright, dumbbells at shoulder height, Press overhead smoothly. Don't lock your elbows. Just keep them back in control. For me, this is a truth move. If the presses feel steadier this week, that's a sign that creatine has been doing its job. And finally, the seated bicep curl. People think biceps are just for looks. I'm more interested in function. Biceps help you carry bags, lift boxes, and pull open heavy doors. It means independence, really. So here's the curl. Sit tall, arms down with the dumbbells, curl up slowly, elbows pinned, lower back with control. Creatine, if it helps me stay steady when I'm tired, that is progress that I can really feel. Now, if these demonstrations are valuable to you, hit that subscribe button. Every week I share real workouts, real results, and truth about fitness over 60. Here is where we are in week 3 and the 2 patterns that I can't ignore. It is all about my creatine test, and it's been a good one. Whenever I test, I'm always on the lookout, scanning for any changes or any positive effect. Nothing is leaking out just yet. And here's what I can say. It feels like a perfect setup for me. I've been doing 5BX60 now practically all my life, so what better foundation could I ask for than to see if creatine really makes a difference? I like to think it is helping, and I'll admit I hope it is. Like today, my 100 jump ropes. I rattled them off fast, clean, and surprisingly smooth. Now, I don't swear it's a creatine. It's just maybe the day, but it felt better than usual, and that's a good sign. On the flip side, mornings, I'm still a bit stiff, little cramping and soreness, which I don't like, but that hasn't been common. It does stand out, though, and that's a good and the bad, a snapshot day. On creatine, the jump rope win, balanced against a touch of a little stiffness. But this is why I'm doing it. Recording these unpolished streams of consciousness reports, I find capture the truth better than something that's over-scripted. For now in week 3, I've taken my first gummy of the day, and I'll pop another later. Now let me leave you with something bigger than creatine. I'm 77 years old. I've faced back pain. I've lived through decades at a desk job. I ate more donuts than I care to admit. And yes, I fought cancer and I came out the other side. Now those hurdles, they could have stopped me, but they didn't. Because here's the truth. Life doesn't give you strength. Struggle does. Every obstacle taught me resilience. Every setback taught me persistence. And every time I got back up, I became stronger than before. That's why I keep testing myself with exercise, with challenges, and now with creatine. And if I can keep building strength and energy and confidence at 77, so can you, no matter what you face, no matter where you start. If you believe, age doesn't get the final say. And if you want to keep building strength in your future, subscribe and join me. Let's walk this path together.